What's up, you guys? So, I've been thinking about this off and on today, but I haven't really made it into a video because I don't really remember. I don't know why, but it keeps clicking on and off in my mind. And I feel like the urgency to make it, even if I don't remember it all, except for the most vital parts. All right, so I actually had a dream about the tribulation. I didn't see the rapture, but in the dream, but I saw the tribulation. So not the tribulation, but destruction. So there was just like all these people, and I was just observing all of this destruction, like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. First, it was just, everything was just perfect. Everything was just how it is. So this took place on like the highway with overpass, and like it was almost like it was like 1,000 overpasses. Everything was just perfect. The people were driving. People were driving on the overpass. Everything was intact. Everything was just like you see it. Then the next second, everything was crumbling down in a pile of destruction. I mean, just like 1 second, everything was there, and like a blink of an eye, everything was just completely destroyed. There was so much destruction, and people were stuck in like the rubble of the destruction, of all the destruction and stuff. And I was like, how can this be? This is just so terrible. And I heard people screaming, Jesus, 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 Jesus. I was like, oh, it must be it. It must be the time. And I can't really remember anything else that much, but you guys, there was rubble that I was standing on that was like 200 to 300 feet off, or high from the ground. So, because rubble just stacked up on top of one another. And like I said, this in the dream, it was like 1,000 overpasses, at least like that. It was like, it's impossible for that to be in real life, sure, but what I'm saying is that that's not the message, impossibility. What the message was given to me was that this is going to happen, and it's going to be very chaotic and very, very destructive when this really does happen. And the ground was like opened up. Like the ground was like, I mean, it was so, there was so much debris, there was so much destruction, there was so much crap going on, and the ground was completely destroyed. Everything was just like flat on top of another. It's just like, it was just, campfire, right? You know, a campfire, when you have a fire going, you have all these little tiny dots, that are just floating in the air, and then they just disappear. Well, there's a lot of fire, and there was a lot of those too, because those are created when fire comes, because I think it's just little tiny dust particles on fire or something. I honestly, it almost kind of looks like sparks. But this was definitely a message of tribulation. I don't like it. Again, like I said, it's not the tribulation, because there's nowhere in the world that has like 1,000 or almost 1,000 overpasses on the highway. But what I'm saying is, in order to cause this much destruction in one area, even though it's like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles apart, You have to have a lot of, like a lot of things built in order to cause this much destruction. There was cars that were really high up in the air, and the cars were leaning over the edges and falling. One second. Trying to think. Cars. There's people way up there too. And I was just saving the people who were saved by Jesus Christ. And the rest, I just let go. The ones who aren't saved. I'm grabbing the hands of people in the dream that were saved by Jesus. And the people that weren't just went flying in the other direction. But anyways, like I said, I don't make videos depending if they're the real deal or not. I've had dreams before that represented hell a lot, represented the rapture, destruction, that I just make into a video anyways. But in this dream, this definitely was representing tribulation. Remember, God says in the end times, I will give them dreams and visions. Well, you don't get dreams of the tribulation just because you don't want them. You get them because it's God fulfilling His word. He said He would, so He has to. Otherwise, He would be a liar. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, so a lot of destruction going on in the dream. And there was like beasts too, like giant. It was almost like it was like the inside of an alien spaceship blew up, and there was all this rubble and fire and stuff going on, because this didn't look like your ordinary overpass. It looked like it was inside of a ship or something. You know? I don't know. Maybe a rocket ship came down and got destroyed. I have no idea. But it has nothing to do with aliens, I tell you that right now. Space shuttle, those are the things I'm talking about.